Yes, everybody, hello, good morning, welcome back to Forever United TV. We are on the midfielder hunt this morning. Again, it is all about the midfield. Look, I'm not saying we're looking for a midfielder. There's no definites coming in or out right now of any significance at all. We're going to talk about the transfer news later in this show. But Manchester United have potentially got their eyes, if not more. In fact, some people saying done deals for two new under 18 midfielders in the DM area. Masters of their trade at their age group, both captains for internationals as well. We're talking Christian Orozco and Mohamed Dabou, a Senegalese and Colombian holding midfield players that could be on their way to Manchester United. Deals in place. We're going to get into the details of them deals as well in a moment. We'll give you the complete lowdown and update. You may have seen all of these reports going out online. We'll go through it all and tell you exactly what is going on with them. Ruben Neves back to the Premier League, back to Manchester United. Well, we'll see. Graham Bailey's got an update this morning also on a potential move for Ruben Dias to United in January. Also, we're also talking about Mainoo's future again and some ludicrous report that he might be on his way to Barcelona. Cannot see that happening at all. And also the other ridiculous transfer news which is out there as well. If I mentioned the name Gerard Branthwaite to you, you'd probably laugh right now, wouldn't you? Yeah, well, it's back again. And some journalists just need to actually get out there and do some proper work, to be honest, and stop reporting the same old crap. Why would we want Branthwaite when we've got Aiden Heaven? Is what I'm saying. Anyway, get your comments in the live section. Get your comments in after the show has finished as well, everybody, on your thoughts. That's if you're playing catch up. I want to know what you feel about these two new young players, talented young midfielders coming into Manchester United. We all know we are starved in the DM area of our football team, and Manchester United look like they are doing the groundwork and again laying down foundations for the future of Manchester United. Christopher Vivell and Jason Wilcox working overtime in Manchester United's academy right now in bringing in the best talent from around the world. Just to explain this as well, there is a reason Manchester United are doing this. So you could look at the James Overy signing, the Chido Obi Martin, the Sekou Kone signing from the first transfer window last summer. Then you can go into Diego Leon this window as well, and other young players that were brought in for Manchester United. In fact, you could actually look at the Lenny Yoro being classed as a homegrown talent player as well, because he was 18 when he signed for Manchester United. The homegrown rule means that a player has to have been at that certain club for 3 years before he turns 21. Manchester United doing deals for all of these players. And notice the ages of these players, by the way. 17, 16, 18, that 3-year period. You are getting homegrown players. What does that mean? Why is that even important? All we care about is a player coming in that's the right fit for Manchester United. Well, United covering themselves and doing what wasn't there before when we didn't have a football structure in place. And he also brought in people like Vivell and Jason Wilcox to not just bring in the best talent, but to secure the financial future of this football club going forward. You look at what Brighton are doing right now, how much they're making, but they're making money off homegrown players. Why do you feel Carlos Baleba had to have played a certain amount of games or been at the club a certain amount of years? It may have just gone over for him, but look at the age of the players that they're bringing in. Manchester United looking here at Christian Orozco from Colombia, Colombian captain for the under-18s. He apparently has signed a deal where he stays over in Colombia until he turns 18, very similar to the Diego Leon deal and what happened with him coming over to Manchester United when he's 18. That would mean at 18, obviously then you got 19, 20, 21, 3 years at the club. Manchester United have full 100% homegrown profits in all of these players that they are signing right now. So financially, it works out for Manchester United, and that is a definite play why United are going for these types of players. No, not only that, they do want to bring these players in, and there is a real genuine hope that these players can be the ones that Manchester United use in the future, and we don't need to spend fortunes on midfielders like Carlos Baleba. Everyone forever and a day has always complained about Manchester United always being behind the smaller clubs. And I've used the excuses to say, look, you cannot always throw these players right in to Manchester United. It's a step up from even the Brightons, Brentfords, Bournemouths, Fulhams of this world, the mid-table teams. And again, no disrespect to them teams. They are much better run than what United have been run over the last 10 years. And that's why they managed to get these players in early and then sell them on for huge profit. There is less pressure at them football clubs. So it's easier for them deals to happen and for them players to prevail and become Premier League record transfers, like it's looking like Brighton, for instance. If they say, what's that? Well, you look at Cucurella when he came in, the unknown, and sold for ridiculous amounts of money. And McAllister, Caicedo, Baleba could be next, João Pedro. Players like this that are being sold for massive amounts of money. Are we not looking to get there first and sign these players so they're at Manchester United? Everyone would argue that point, but it is difficult at United and the size of the club to make that happen. But we are still doing it behind the scenes. So United have the power to buy these players, but they also have the law to bring them in early. So we're getting the best of both at the moment with how the structure is working at the football club. So, for instance, let's just look at Christian Orozco, the holding midfielder. Have you seen the clips and videos online of the kid? I'm not going to act like I know a lot about him. Again, this is why we've got a management team and a recruitment team in place, and why INEOS have employed people like Wilcox and Vivell to go out and find that talent everywhere. He looks mustard. He looks fantastic. He looks like he's absolutely built already for the Premier League. My God, the South American players that are coming, we've seen the size of Diego Leon. He's an absolute beast. Obviously playing in the under-21 right now, and we'll see how that develops. But Orozco is a similar build, energy, fast, quick. He's everything that Manchester United need. Definitely not the finished article and the next coming of anyone world beating, let's just say that. But another player that is in Manchester United's ranks now, simply because we are building this foundation of academy players, and we've got people in at this football club that actually know what they're doing. These signings will be good. By the way, Mohamed Dabo, who we spoke about last night, the Senegalese holding midfield player, he has been at the club for a few weeks on trial now, and Barcelona are all over this kid. But it's looking like Manchester United, again, have managed to pull this one off and get him into Manchester United. So he's impressed United already. He's already been in and amongst it on trial at the football club. So again, another player there that we could definitely say is a win for Manchester United. Definitely, if Barcelona are looking at these young players at this age, then Manchester United need to be there as well. And we are pipping a few of these big clubs now to these big signings. So I think that's what we've got to look at and really hold on to with confidence that we are moving in the right direction here. But I love these signings simply because they are signings that we didn't know about. This is what we've always asked Manchester United to do. It's not the glitz and glamour transfer signings that everybody wants. But then again, have we not been asking for years for this to happen? I'm sure we have said this and had this conversation when we signed the likes of Sekou Kone, when Chido came into Manchester United, Overy, Leon, players like this that have been signed up by the club. Obviously, you've got Canabiac, who is also the young French striker that we brought in this summer from Paris Saint-Germain. He's over in Lausanne, our other club that are owned by INEOS. So we have got plenty of young, talented players there. And you know what? Manchester United, with the right scouts, with the right recruitment team, you know what? Maybe these players don't actually make it at Manchester United, but maybe they go on loan and are worth a lot of money to other clubs. And Manchester United can recoup money from these players. So that's not where I want this to go. I'm just saying United have the backup of the financial structure in place for homegrown players if they do turn out to be the next best thing. If you've got Barcelona, Arsenal, Inter Milan, Borussia Dortmund, all of these types of clubs looking at the players that we're looking at, then there is clearly talent there. You can trust in a decent scouting and recruitment team led by Christopher Vivell, obviously with his track record of talent that has come through. You can feel comfortable and confident as a Manchester United fan. And that's there, that not knowing who these players are, the unknown factor, and actually being surprised by transfers and it not being what Manchester United normally do. 2 years, 2 full summers, really, of INEOS in at Manchester United, and we're hearing all about these new talents that are flying around the football club, that are coming in to Manchester United, that have been scouted and recruited, that could have been going elsewhere. All we need is probably one of these players to come and make it at Manchester United, and that's job done. That is job done at the football club there. If you're recruiting these players, bringing them in from overseas and integrating them in, they turn out to be homegrown profit, maybe down the line, or maybe they turn out to be absolute world beaters and stay in Manchester United's side. You just don't know. Sekou Kone is thought to be getting closer and closer to making his Manchester United debut soon. So there's one player in, and you've got another two like Orozco and Daba, who we're talking about here, that could also come in, but they need time to develop. So Manchester United effectively could now, and this is the transformation from where we was to where we're going. So now we've got a backup. Now we've got a network and a structure in place behind the signings that we make. So if we make the right signings under Ineos for the first team now, then we've already got all of these areas of the pitch covered when we're looking into the future of this football club also. So when them players are finishing up, and they're still young now, you've still got that talent coming through Manchester United's academy because of this recruitment, because of the players that are already there, and the under-18s, like we've seen the under-21s win last night in their European game against Athletic Club. Great start for the youngsters there. The 18s are unbeaten without even conceding a goal yet this season. A phenomenal talent coming through Manchester United's ranks right now. You look at Kai Rooney and JJ Gabriel that we've already spoken about, and then the best talent coming in from all around the world, and these two midfielders coming in. It's about time, is what we're saying. Players coming in from Africa, South America, from Asia, from all over the world. When has this ever happened? In 2 years of Ineos recruitment and structure, Manchester United have got the best young talent flying in. And it might not turn into be the best. You might not get that player actually coming through and featuring for Manchester United's first team. But you've got enough of it there to keep Manchester United competing at under-18 and under-21 level and dipping into when you need it instead of looking around everywhere. It's like the season that Manchester United actually went, the summer that Ineos came in, the summer of Ten Hag last summer, the one before. Our under-21s were all over the place, absolutely all over the place. You didn't know who was where, who was on loan where. Nobody went out for any sort of money at all, and they have just been completely loaned out, disbanded, and everyone's all over the place now. There was no structure to it. Ineos have come in, and within 1 year, from last summer to this summer, look where we're at. Under-18s, top of the pile. Under-21s, top of the pile. Winning in Europe and winning in league at league level. There has to be a certain player in there somewhere that Manchester United will use out of all of this. But they keep on bringing the players in. They keep on adding to it until they get that absolute gem or even a couple of gems. And this has now spread worldwide for Manchester United. Thank God we have got people like Christopher Vival and Jason Wilcox working behind the scenes at Manchester United, because this is really good news for the football club. In these sorts of players coming in, I love it. I love the fact that we are getting this young, raw talent in at Manchester United, and we could actually benefit from it. It's about time we were ahead of the other football clubs. And again, we don't know if these players are going to actually come in and actually work. Like we said, we've already got one there in Dabo who looks like he's going to be signing for Manchester United after his trial. And the deal that we are being told about this morning from everybody online is that Orozco is going to sign a deal which keeps him in his native country like Leon until he turns 18. There are very, very similar deals happening here. It's clever from Manchester United. It is very, very clever. And I'm loving the fact that we are now dipping into that market and we are safeguarding the future. The academy is everything to Manchester United. But in this modern day football, with PSR and financial fair play, there is that financial benefit to it as well. So it's absolutely huge that Manchester United make sure that we are at the forefront of that and making sure that we are bringing in these top talents. And it's really good news. We've got more relevant, up-to-date news coming up right now, but I want to get your thoughts on this first of all. Does it impress you? Are you bothered? Some people might not even be bothered by it. Manny says, whether you breed local lads or buy the best, that's good business. That's how you build decades of success on and off the field. It is. It's really good. It's a good point, Manny, there as well. You're building the future of the football club. Ant says, it's also about covering your bases. You'd be shocked at how low the number of youth players who make it to the first team Premier League football actually is. I remember Jesse Lingard talking about that actually. it is very, very low in terms of the percentage of players that actually do make it. But yeah, you've got to be there. You have to be there and out there to find that talent when it does actually come through. And you know what? You might even just grab a run-of-the-mill squad player out of this. But isn't it better having a squad player that's come through Man United's academy that can do a job here, there and everywhere, rather than having someone sat on the bench on 200 grand a week doing absolutely jack shit? That's all I'm saying. Sorry for swearing in the morning, everyone. But that's what I've been going on about for years. The blockers. And getting rid of the crap, the deadwood, the bomb squad, all of that. Get it out of the way. And even if these kids are not their next best thing, but I would rather someone be sat on the bench like one of these academy lads coming through that can do a job just as good as Manuel Ugarte, who hasn't cost the club 40 odd million, 50 million, and he's on over 100 grand a week wages. I would like that to be what stabilises Manchester United and fills in the rest of the squad. Nothing against Ugarte, but just an example there. It could be your Victor Lindelofs of the world. It could be your Andre Ananas. It could be anyone like this sat there on the bench that we know is just a waster, that is just there for the money. The mercenary days at Manchester United are over. Find the right talent. Find the younger talent. Find the talent that's not going to cost you a fortune, that is going to do just as good a job, if not better, because they're more hungry for the football and more hungry to make it into the first team. I think Kone could end up a better player than Baleba, says Thailand Tomo. We'll see. We'll see when he makes his first Manchester United starts. Seko Kone should go on loan to Nice. They aren't Ineos using Nice. Why aren't Ineos using Nice? Sorry, as a loan club like they should be. All due respect to Nice, they are in all competitions. They need players that need to prove themselves. Look, when you look at Nice, I think Lausanne is probably the example. There's a lot of talk around Nice and Ineos pulling out of Nice at the moment, so that's why I don't think anything is happening at that club in terms of players going there. Nice did approach Manchester United for a few players and it was turned down. I think something's going on behind the scenes with that, so I don't want to jump the gun and say that it's definitely Sir Jim selling his shares, which is a couple $100 million apparently, but we will see how that develops, and in the future you might actually see something happen with Nice and them being, the shares of Ineos anyway going, and where that investment comes back in, we'll see, won't we? We will see. But yeah, Lausanne, like Canabiac, I would use Lausanne, Switzerland League. I would. They're still in competition, still competing at a decent level. I think it's perfect. Chris says, United have no loan structure in Europe to get these players experience before playing in the EPL. Caicedo, Matoma, Van Hecken, Adingra, Baleba, McAllister all had loan spells in Europe. Well, this is the thing. Why are we not using the likes of Lausanne for all of our younger players? Get them out there. The structure at Manchester United, the sporting director, isn't just about bringing players in and finding talent. It's finding loans. It's finding the right club that are playing a certain way for these players to go and develop. It's looking at everything and giving them the opportunity when they need it and having the right people in to assess it. United are on top of this now, and we will start to see a lot of change in that department. So bear with that one. Give it time. The people that we're employing, the people that are in at Manchester United now, I think are looking into that. And you could even look as far as Johnny Evans' role, about him he's in charge of the loan scheme system at Manchester United and what he does. Maybe we could look into that also as something that is a positive in that area as well. But yeah, the loans thing is really something that I've been going on about for a while now. Manchester United need to be well on top of that and getting these players out on loan to decent football clubs. In terms of the here and now, moving on with our next story is the Ruben Neves story, which has come about from Graham Bailey this morning. You may see this floating around, but we mentioned it briefly the other night. I actually got the name wrong. I said João Neves and not Ruben Neves, so apologies everybody for that one. We mentioned it the other night. It's been a name that's been floating around because apparently Ruben Neves wants to move back to the Premier League, wants to get the move back. Manchester United, Tottenham and Newcastle have all been approached over Ruben Neves' potential availability as he wants to return to Europe. And January exit from Al Hilal can't be ruled out, though a summer move looks more likely at this stage. So Neves, I mean, if it's a permanent deal, you look at it and you would say, I'm not too sure. It's the sort of loan deal you want to take. I mean, let's just have a quick nosy at Ruben Neves and check where he's actually at right now in terms of age and everything. 28, a player in his prime, you would have thought. Still can't understand why he went to Al Hilal when he did. It was a waste of time for me, but look, he wanted to go there. He wanted to probably get his hands on trophies, feature in the Club World Cup. I don't even know if that was in the pipeline for him when he made that move, but still, holding midfielder with Prem experience. His market value at the moment is very low because he's in Saudi. Now, whether or not they will drive a hard bargain for him, I don't know. So I'm going to ask the chat straight away. Would you take Ruben Neves? Would you buy him? His market value right now is 25 million euros. Now, I'm guessing usually market value for a decent player, you would double it. Would you pay about 40 million quid when you break it down and do the currency exchange and everything like that? 40 million quid for Ruben Neves. Is that something that you would go for? Get into the chat and let me know now on that one. I used to love Ruben Neves when he was playing at Wolves. I used to hate playing against him for Manchester United. He absolutely bossed us. Aggressive, goal scoring, set piece experts, energy levels. I would have jumped at the opportunity to buy Ruben Neves so many times in the past few years. But he moved across to Al Hilal. Was it 40 million euros? Is he worth it? Is he worth it? Is he worth bringing in a 28-year-old? Again, like, what wage is he going to demand? He's on high wages right now at Al Hilal. It's an interesting one, isn't it? But, I mean, I'm going to gauge the chat right now on Ruben Neves. Neves would be awesome, says Mark Pugh. Would you go for him? Ruben Neves is a joke signing. Too old. The sign Buddy and Lamine Camara. Look, Lamine Camara, look, at the end of the day, it's Prem-proven players that United are after, and experienced Prem-proven players that United are after. And Ruben Neves, I wouldn't say he's a joke. I don't think he's a joke. At 28, if you can get him between 30 and 40 million, I'm going for Neves. I don't think United are going to have to pay astronomical wages for him. But that's a player there. I feel if United could loan, we would be all over instantly. I just don't think United are in to buy Ruben Neves, is what I feel. And this is what United should have done with João Palhinha from Spurs. I said it. A loan is a nothing deal. I still don't get why Man United didn't get Palhinha. He'll have a great season for Spurs there, and you can send him back. Like, attack the loan market. Why didn't we attack the loan market? Honestly, I understand we went for Conor Gallagher, but I still don't get why United didn't go for Palhinha. If we could loan Ruben Neves, I would be all over that instantly. That would be an amazing signing for United. If we could make that happen in January, maybe loan him. There might be an obligation if he does something like that. I would go for that. I would. And maybe he signs a 3-year deal up until he's 31, and then we let him go. I still feel like he can do a job for Manchester United, even into his early 30s. If it's a short-term deal, then I don't see that being a high-risk move at all for United. But it's all about the price, I feel. The player is right. The age is right for what we need right now. I'm sorry, we need experienced players. We need a bit of nous in that midfield. But, again, I think it will be the price that United don't go for. And there is a structure behind Ineos, which I don't think they're going to break. Again, 3 transfer windows in now. Not one player bought in over the age of 26. There is a clear plan here. So, yes. This was done. It's my mug, by the way. Someone picked up on it then. She's not been in the chat for a while, actually. But, Manchester United. You will all remember Jan. She sent me the mug. She put Adam on the bottom of United one. So it is my mug, yeah. And no one's taking it away from me, I'm telling you now. If you can't see or you're just listening, yeah, it's a United mug with my name printed on the bottom. Don't ask. But no, it's my favourite one. It's my match day one. It's like my pre-match mug. I have a brew in the morning on United games with that one. That's not bringing me much luck, is it, at the moment? So I'm hoping that all changes. We should have gone for Douglas Luiz. He looked decent for Forest last night. 1 game, Sarah. Is that enough? I know what you're saying. No. Prem-proven players. Again, it falls into that category. Palhinha, Douglas Luiz, Ruben Neves. These are all proven holding midfield players that can do a job and are better than what United have got. I don't care what anybody says. They are. All 3 of them players are better than what United have got. And I'm matching them up against Manuel Ugarte. I'm sorry. They're all better than him. And United, if we could have loaned one, like the Polini one really well. It would. Look, any loan deal, like if you got Conor Gallagher on loan, yeah, I prefer him over Polini. I would. I'd take Conor Gallagher over Polini. I think he's a brilliant player. I just don't think United are willing to commit that money. Now, obviously, if all of our midfielders leave in the summer, then you might have to bring in somebody else like that. And like we said, the conversation about every single Man United midfielder right now is up in the air, and we don't know what's going to happen going forward because there is big question marks over all of them. The future of Bruno, Casemiro's contract ending, Manuel Ugarte, 2-year chop, Mainoo, say no more. We've got a story on him coming up again today. But United need to be looking out, like we've talked about here. Orozco and Dabo, the young 17-year-old midfielders we talked about at the top of the show. Ruben Neves, the potential of other midfielders coming in. We're talking Elliot Anderson, Baleba. We're talking Adam Wharton. We're talking Yarmouk as well at Brentford the other day. There is so many players going around at the moment. It does look like the midfielder transfer market is going to be hot this summer anyway. But would you go for Neves? I'd go for Neves for 1 to 2 years with an up-and-coming holding mid, as in bring a younger player in next to him. It could work well to have the battle-hardened guy showing the kids the ropes. Look, Ruben Neves' intensity, quality on the ball, passing ability, reading of the game is exactly what Manchester United need right now. I just don't think Ineos are going to go for it. That's just my honest opinion. But if you were to ask me, would you take Ruben Neves now? Would you pay 30 million for Ruben Neves now? Yeah, I would. I would jump at the opportunity. 30 million for a 3 or 4 year deal, taking him into his early 30s. I don't think that's high risk because I think that's a player that will help United sustain top 4 football. I do think he is good enough to play at that. He gets into the Portuguese side. He's still got it. He's got that experience, and he has got that absolute set piece and passing ability alongside the aggression and reading of the game that we lack. He is like, honestly, I think, and some people may disagree with this and not rate Neves, but I've watched this guy up close and personal for Wolves several times. I've been to Molyneux. I've watched him at Old Trafford. When he first came on the scene, he's absolute mustard. He really was. Whether he's deteriorated, whether he's dropped off and isn't as good, like you could maybe say that. I'd ask the question to everybody in the Saudi Pro League. Although people watching the Saudi Pro League will tell you that that is now turning into a solid league. And let's not forget, Al Hilal beat City in the Club World Cup. So there is something there. So I expect the quality to still be there for Ruben Neves. But I've said it before. Neves is like Mainoo and... Not Mainoo, sorry, the wrong player. Neves is like, I feel, like a Bruno Fernandes and a Ugarte together in terms of the understanding of a midfield. That's the player that Ruben's got 2 players for right now. I think he's got the creativity. I think he's got the goals. I think he's got the aggression, the reading of the game, the tackling. Honestly, his vision is phenomenal. He goes under the radar. He really does. He goes under the radar. But he was part of that team that was absolutely formidable. Yao Jimenez, Diogo Jota, Ruben Neves, these types of players. Who's the other one? Moutinho as well. At Wolves at that time under Nuno, they were absolutely lethal. They was a brilliant team. And United always struggled against them. They were very good. All right, let's get some more in. Not for me, I like the player, but going to Saudi at his age shows you ain't got the right mindset. Look, some people will have that opinion, and that's always going to be for people looking at this. Why would you go to the Saudi Pro League at that age? And I said the same thing, and I get that totally. I do get it. And what we're also looking at there is like, has he fallen off? Will it take him time to adapt? Will that affect him? Do United need somebody who's going to hit the ground running? And all of that. That, I think, is something that you do need to bring into the conversation as well. Has there been a drop-off for him? Look, we'll see in time. But obviously, if you played in the Premier League, you know what it's about. And you should be able to step straight back into it. We've talked about Polina doing it at Spurs already. Douglas Luiz has done it at Nottingham Forest already this season as well. So, realistically, yeah. Portugal Wolves were very good. 100% Adam, says Stephanie. Yeah, when they brought everyone in, there was. I have a feeling that United have a vision to try and do something bigger in January instead of Ruben Neves. I hope you're right. I do think there is a lot of options there for Manchester United as well. There is a lot of other news that I want to just get through as well. I'm going to run through the other rumours and stuff that are going around right now. Some of it absolutely ridiculous, by the way. But just listening on these so you're completely up to date. Yes, Antoine Semenyo, apparently Manchester United are going for him next summer. He's just signed a new deal. We've got Mbeumo, we've got Cunha, we've got Mount, we've got Ahmad. I don't think this deal is going to happen. I don't think United are in for Semenyo unless they are really considering pushing one of Mbeumo or Cunha in as the number 9 next to Benjamin Sesko, and that's not buying the number 9 then. I don't see Semenyo happening. Does anyone else think that Semenyo would come in? I don't. I really don't. The other news is, again, the Jared Branthwaite news. For God's sake, just let that guy go. We're not signing Jared Branthwaite. I don't want to sign Jared Branthwaite at this stage now anyway. But that keeps on coming up. Let me just bring up the person who's actually talked about this because he's sick of it. Let's out him, actually. In terms of who is it, I think it might be caught offside on this one. There's a few that they have said. Manchester United are still really like a Jared Branthwaite and could make a 60 million bid this January. No, and no. That is not going to happen. It is absolute garbage. So Jared Branthwaite is also in the news. You may see that floating around. Don't pay any attention to it because United have got Aiden Heaven. We've got Lenny Yoro. Thank God we bought them and not Jared Branthwaite. Where is he, by the way? Oh, yeah, he's on the treatment table. Again, stay well clear of Jared Branthwaite. And let's not waste 60 million, shall we? So if you see that story, turn over, flip, swipe, whatever you got to do, forget about it. It's not real. It's not genuine. United would have liked Jared Branthwaite back in the day. But not anymore. By the way, signed a new deal and it's probably worth more money than what we were looking at in the first place. United are not going to do it. Simples. Anyway, moving on. There is a story going around that Barcelona are in for Kobbie Mainoo. I know. We're at the ridiculous stage now with all of the stories and what's actually happening. Just to read up on this one for you. Barcelona are expected to accelerate talks in the coming weeks over a potential transfer for Kobbie Mainoo. They're keen to sign him as cover for injured Xavi. I mean, I don't see anything in this unless, obviously, well, Kobbie Mainoo could leave Manchester United if he doesn't get game time. I mean, we've spoken about this aplenty over the last few weeks, haven't we now? Barcelona, have they really got the money to buy Kobbie Mainoo? I doubt it. I doubt it right now. Until they get a few seasons in and getting their revenues up again from the new redeveloped new camp, I don't see them having the funds. Like they spent less than Wrexham last summer. So that tells you everything about where Barcelona's finances are right now. So Mainoo to Barcelona, maybe it's a story overall. Like I just look at Barcelona and think, no. Honestly, no. I'm not saying he can't play there. I think he could and do a job, but he'd be a squad player at Barca if that's what he wants. So, yeah, I look at that story and just go, that's just been made up with everything that's going on at the moment with Kobbie Mainoo. And there is really nothing in it, I don't think, for Manchester United fans to be concerned about. Maybe it's something that you're not concerned about, like we spoke last night. Kobbie wants to fight for his place at Manchester United. So, realistically, when you look at it from the news from yesterday to today, no. Again, more absolute garbage is what I'm saying around this one. And there's no way that Kobbie Mainoo is leaving for Barcelona and definitely not leaving in January. I mean, that's ludicrous. He's staying at United. He'll be fighting for his place. We don't know what's going to happen in January with Manchester United. They could actually go out and buy another midfielder. You just don't know. So all we're saying here is let's just see what happens in January with Manchester United in terms of the midfielders coming in. But there's no guarantee for anybody. The players that Manchester United want, as of now, are not for sale. Well, you could get Conor Gallagher, but you'd have to pay big money in January because I don't think Atletico would be willing to sell him in a Champions League season or mid-Champions League season anyway. The chance was there in the summer. United didn't take it because they want to save the money for Baleba. Can United get Baleba in January? Brighton don't want to sell him in January. Adam Wharton, Conference League season for Crystal Palace. He probably won't want to go and wants to wait out another year. And then he might go to Liverpool next summer. All of these players, Yarmolenko, like we've spoken about, Ruben Neves today as well. I honestly, right now, don't know which way United are going to go in January. If the chance is there, United will go for a midfielder in January, and I think that will tell us everything about Kobbie Mainoo. Whether or not he gets that loan away from Manchester United, I don't know. I think he's going to get more game time in the next 2 or 3 months, and I think he'll actually start to secure his place in this side. If he's willing to, like we said last night, learn under Ruben Amorim, listen, work harder, fight for his place, he'll be in that side. We used the example of Casemiro last night, who was a unused substitute for 6 straight games under Ruben Amorim, which is demoralising for someone of his stature. But he stuck to it. His character shone through. That's what Ruben wanted, and in the end, he got what he wanted. He came to be a really important player for Manchester United. So the proof is there that you can work your way back into the side. And let's see how he adapts it with Bruno Fernandes. That's the big question for Kobbie. But I think he'll be back in Man United's side before the January window opens, and he would have played a few more games. I hope so anyway. And we're not even talking about Kobbie Mainoo leaving United. I want him to earn that wage that he wants. Look, if he wants that 200 grand a week wage, then be Manchester United's midfielder for the next 10 years. Like, show us when you get the chance. And let's see if he does. Let's get into the comment sections on these latest stories. Talk to me about everything that we just spoke about. Ruben, about Branthwaite, about Semenyo, about Mainoo. Get into the comment section, everybody. Talk to me now. We should reboot the midfield with Ayoub Badu and Lamine Kamara. Right, enough of them names. Enough of them names, Al. They're not coming. They're not on the equation right now, mate. We've got to think realistic, buddy. They're going for the big names in January. The unknown ones, I just don't think are going to happen unless the likes of like Orozco and Dabo that nobody knows about, that they're trying to develop themselves. I think that's where they're at with it, Al, to be honest. I just don't see any of them players coming in. Kobbie is waiting for Amorim to get sacked because it's the only way he's getting a start. 2 or 3 new central midfielders coming, and he can't play now. He won't be playing for us under Amorim regularly. Maybe not. It's a good point to make. If Ruben's there, he's going to play Bruno. We know this. We know he loves Bruno. To be honest, every manager is going to play Bruno. It just depends on the system. Ruben's system is really showing us right now that Kobbie's not going to fit because Bruno's in there with his new 10s. The transfer window pretty much seen an end to Kobbie definitely starting in games. I'm still of the opinion that Kobbie needs to do a lot more anyway. But is he going to get the chance to do a lot more is what someone would argue back with me. Again, that's the problem we've got right now. Don't forget, everybody, as well, this weekend we have got a jam-packed football fixture weekend. We have got the United game watch-along on Saturday lunchtime here on FUTV. We are running match bingo throughout the day, so click on the link in the description and in the live chat, or scan the QR code on your screen right now. Download the app, use promo code FUTV in the promo code section. When you're setting up your account or already have an account, it will always be there. If you put FUTV in that promo code, you will be boosted by 200%. So your deposit amount is boosted by 200%. And the games are only £2. So get on top of that, everybody, and grab yourselves a chance of winning up to 300 quid in all of the games this weekend. We have 4 watch-alongs for you this weekend between FUTV and Football Talks, all covered by Match Bingo with that 200% in play, everyone. So get on that now. Get on that and give yourselves a great chance. What did you mean Mainoo should show us? He's always puts in a performance when he gets a chance. England starter in the Euro finals as well. FA Cup starter and winner. Amorim doesn't rate him. No, he hasn't, Mark. He hasn't been consistent enough. Let's not forget, last season, he started enough games for Ruben Amorim. In fact, I counted him out. In the games he was available, he started over 19 for Ruben Amorim, and we won 4 of them games. He hasn't shown us enough yet. He definitely hasn't shown enough to earn 180 to 200 grand a week wages. And I fully stand by the club actually not giving him that contract. I want him to stay. I want him to do more. Do I think he'll get the chance? I'm not too sure. Do I think he'll actually move away? I'm not too sure. Is Bruno a problem? 100% he is for him. And that's on Ruben. So we kind of go back to what Carl said there. If Ruben is the manager, Cobby has to do a lot. An awful lot. Maybe he has to adapt his game to fit in. But the problem you've got is, if United, and this is the biggest if at all of all, if United keep on winning, say for instance we beat Brentford and beat Sunderland and we're going into the international break off the back of 3 straight wins, then Cobby can't complain. United are winning games. The only complaint Cobby has got is that United are not winning games when he's not playing. That is his argument, and that is what a lot of Cobby fans will also say is what's wrong with Ruben Amorim right now. So yes, that I think is the big issue for Cobby. But if United keep winning and he's not playing, well, it's a big if, isn't it? Because we haven't shown any consistency under Ruben Amorim. So let's see who wins the day, Ruben or Cobby. I don't think it's a case of he's waiting it out deliberately to see Ruben get sacked. I think we all look at it from the outside and say that probably is his best chance, because someone will come in and change the shape and utilise Cobby differently. Ruben's got his vision and Cobby's not part of it at the moment. Can he work his way in? I think he can. Has he got a better chance if Ruben's not there? 100% he has. So let's just see how it pans out. Let's get a few more comments in. Mainoo had 1 or 2 games that was good last season. Also, he has not been that amazing when he has played this season either. Low rating on the player. There is a reason why Mainoo is not playing. Look, I think even if he looks at his performances, he could probably say that he hasn't been great. We're not making a defence here to get rid of Cobby Mainoo. We're not making a defence here for Ruben Amorim either. We're just laying it out. Everything on the table. Again, the only thing that stops this debate is United winning games. As long as we keep on losing and we're inconsistent, this conversation will roll on and on and on and on. And on Saturday afternoon, people are going to be talking about what the hell is Ruben doing? Why is Ruben not changing things up if United lose? I just hope it's not the case. I hope Mainoo plays and I hope United win. That would be the perfect scenario this weekend. All right. Cobby was the starter versus Grimsby. A loss. Cobby was a sub against Chelsea. We win. You can pick out different moments in games and different games to back your own arguments up. Look, all we're saying is there's a few different ways to look at it. And there is more to this. There's 2 sides to the story. At the moment, it's all on a knife edge. And it could go one way or the other. Again, let's just see. The top story, again, just to go over it again, Manchester United are on the verge of signing 2 young holding midfielders. One in Christian Orozco and one in Mohamed Dabo. Both 17, both holding midfield players. Orozco, Colombian, and Dabo, Senegalese. Both at Manchester, both in talks with Manchester United. United have got Dabo on trial at the moment and has impressed. Barcelona are waiting to sign him according to the reports, and United are trying to wrap this one up. Also on Carrasco, he's another deal, South American player, similar to the deal that Diego Leon had. When he turns 18, he will come into Manchester United. That's the deal that's being spoken about at the moment. More details on that as it goes through the day, if that does come to fruition. But that's where we're at with them two. Of course, Manchester United also securing the financial future of the football club with both of these players. He's signing them in now for practically nothing. At 17, when they turn 18, then you'll be in that realm of homegrown talent. By the time they both hit 21, if United have got anything out of them, if they are good players, then you will see these players classed as homegrown United talent. So even if they didn't work out or weren't as good as what they thought, if United did sell these players on, then they would make 100% profit on them as well. Just a little subplot to what Manchester United are doing. Same with Chido. Same with Zeka Kone, same with James Overy, same with all of these players, Kanabiak, all of the 17-year-olds that United are bringing in, they're homegrown players. And you can only imagine if Manchester United managed to sign up JJ Gabriel on his first professional contract, what we would get for him in the future. Again, Manchester United's academy is at the forefront of everything good right now at the football club, and they are absolutely killing it at 18s and at under-21s right now. We are stacked with talent, and they're bringing more and more into Manchester United, which can only be a good thing, people. It is. And United could actually make something out of this as well financially. Worst case scenario. Sensible. Don't want to talk about the financial side. I'd rather talk about these players actually being players that United could use in the future and are going to be future stars. But it's there, and we do have to talk about it. It is what a lot of clubs are doing now. So let's see if Manchester United can find the next Baleba or Caicedo for peanuts and do it ourselves. We will see, won't we? We will see. But someone did make a good point earlier on about the loan structure at Manchester United. That needs to be a lot better. And he rolled off the list of Brighton players that have made it and come out of Brighton with shining reviews and are worth a fortune. And all of them players got loans away, first of all. There needs to be something in place for that at Manchester United to utilise the talents that we've got. Get them out and get the experience. Again, Ruben Neves is another story that came out this morning around Graham Bailey. Manchester United, Spurs and Newcastle all looking at potentially signing Ruben Neves in January if possible, but more likely wants to come back in the summer. I don't know if either of these clubs can make something happen. Apparently Spurs have got a bit of money. And they could go for Neves. Manchester United, I don't know their stance on it. They're looking into the situation, obviously, because we need someone like that in the midfield. So let's just see how that develops for Manchester United going forward. But that's another story that's there and is doing the rounds right now as well this morning. Barcelona apparently are interested in Kobbie Mainoo. We kind of poo-pooed that one and just brushed it aside. United also in for Semenyo next summer and Jarrad Branthwaite. Both of them players have just recently signed new deals and would absolutely be fleecing Manchester United, parent club-wise anyway, for both of them deals if we were to go down that road. I don't see them deals happening either. As much as I would like Semenyo, I think he's a great player. Where does he fit? Who drops out? Especially when we've just bought Cunha and Mbeumo into the side. So, no, don't think that they're the right players either for Manchester United. Not the right players, but there's no room for him. With Branthwaite, we just bought Aiden Heaven, who's come through in reserve for Manchester United. We have an abundance of centre-backs at the moment. If you got rid of Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire next summer, I would be saying, let's go and find another centre-back, just for cover. But that's the only way that Jarrad Branthwaite comes in to Manchester United. But I don't think United will go out and spend 60 million on him. I don't think he's the player United will be blowing their budget on, let's just say, come the summer. I think it is all going on to the midfield. There's lots of talk in and around Benjamin Sesko at Manchester United at the moment as well. And good reports, raving reports about Benjamin Sesko that are really encouraging. Finding his feet, finding his voice, and obviously now mixing in and integrating into Manchester United. We could see this weekend the first time Benjamin Sesko starts alongside Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo. All fully fit now, all in training and looking likely to be Man United's starting front three this weekend. Really excited to see how that develops. But apparently, we mentioned it last night, Benjamin Sesko is actually on fire right now. And I know it's all talk behind the scenes and training doesn't matter, blah-de-blah. United could push whatever agenda they want from Carrington while they're not in Europe or playing midweek. It's all positive off the back of a decent weekend. I just hope that it continues this weekend. I really hope that Manchester United come away with the 3 points this weekend because it is going to change the whole environment around Manchester United. The back-to-back winning scenario is gone. That's not even being talked about anymore, Ruben Amorim. We're heading into Sunderland before the international break. There is a real chance here for United. And the press conference is tomorrow. We'll have that covered here on FUTV as always live. But there's a real chance for Manchester United here to really just shut everybody up and go into the international break on a complete high off the back of 3 wins. All we've got to do is beat a Brentford side that have got 1 win this season in all competitions and Sunderland, who are newly promoted at Old Trafford. Can we get these 2 games won? If we do this, then I'll start to believe a little bit more that we are turning a corner. It just shuts everybody up. It shuts everybody up. We'll be in the European places come the international break. Ruben would have won back-to-back games. In fact, if we beat Brentford and Sunderland, that will be the best Premier League run consistent Premier League run, and I think about 3 years for Manchester United. There's so much on the cards here for this next 2 weeks and these next 2 games. They may seem like normal run-of-the-mill games and nothing to get excited about, but it is huge for Manchester United that we can beat Brentford and Sunderland now. But look, that is then. It's not far away. Tomorrow is the press conference, and then we're on the full match day build-up for that then. Right, that is our show done this morning. Thank you, everybody. Absolute legends, every single one of you again. We are fully covered there. All of the news in. If anything else breaks throughout the day, I will have you fully updated here on Forever United TV. So please hit that subscribe button. Please hit the bell notification button so you know when the news is coming. And of course, pop a like on the video as well if you're loving the content. I love you all. Thank you, everyone. I will see you all later on this afternoon. Have a fantastic